Hello there, and welcome back to War Thunder. So this is a little bit of a follow-up video to the first overview of the vehicles from the 1.97 dev server, and this is talking about two vehicles in particular that I think that they should not be added, in the sense that this would be a benefit for the game. I love War Thunder for its variety and all the different vehicle classes that you can play together with, and that you just can't really play in other games, right? So we have over 1,500 vehicles in the game already, but not every addition is a hit. A lot of those, especially new additions, they are just simply overpowered, don't really feel balanced, and just, yeah, they are not great for the game. And so I want to really talk in particular about the KF52 and the Strf 90C, why they are bad, how they will affect the gameplay experience, and what can be done about them to make them balanced, and or to just simply not implement them in the first place. And I hope that you give me the chance to talk you through about my thoughts. Again, I love variety, but when it really comes to Gaijin not being able to implement stuff and to think about the consequences, then we really should talk about. And in the past, Gaijin has proven over and over again that they are not really able to test stuff properly to really make the quality control that is necessary for the game. Think about the Target 2 SLA-16's side plating when it comes to the add-on tracks on the turrets. They were just way too tough for their, advertised thickness. The same for the lower glacis and overall turret armor effectiveness on the T-29. And let's not begin here even with the IS-6. And those are just tanks. So when it comes to the KF52 and the Strf 90C, there are just a different magnitude of worse. And if you think that the KF50 was already bad, yeah, it is still unbalanced. It is still overpowered, and it still can farm tanks with impunity. And so when you think about the KF52, it is essentially like the KF50, only with more missiles, I guess, and still the maximum range of 10 kilometers. And Gaijin has failed so far to deliver a counter for any other nation. In fact, Gaijin have buffed the KF50 in the way that the initial missile range was a planned 8 kilometers, but then new documents appeared out of thin air, I guess, and then the missiles were 10 kilometers. So the only weapon system that can counter the KF50 to this date is the ADATs. Old story, I know. But if the KF50 had a range of 8 kilometers, significantly more helicopters had a chance to, fight it, and also many more SAM systems or anti-aircraft systems in general would have the range. Not right from the start, but if you think about the German SAM system, the Flak Panzer I, and also the Roland 1, the French one, they have with their upgraded missile, the upgraded one, 8.5 kilometers range. The Stormer HVM also with its system 7 kilometers. So you then have in theory the chance to position yourself ahead of the front line to intercept the KF50. The KF50 in this aspect is worse, as it not just brings the entirety of the KF50 players back that to this day have probably no reason to grind anymore, because they either just run out of stuff that they want to play for, or that they want to grind, or they kind of had enough of their seal clubbing experience. And so when the KF52 arrives, people will jump back in the KF50. We will have again teams where more than half of the players from the start will play the KF50, and then when people have grinded through the KF52, you can enjoy that spam on top of it. If this KF52 is not even inducing more KF50 cells, this is then making top tier completely irrelevant. So because if you're in a tank of the enemy team, you just have no Soviet tanks to shoot at, and as a Soviet tank you either have nothing to shoot at because all the KF50s, all the helicopters have killed the entirety of the enemy team already before you even went into shooting distance. So it screws up both sides. And you can see why this is not really appealing to me, right? So Gaijin has failed to kind of balance the thing, is introducing something else, and for me as a content creator, I and a lot of other people that are on the Gaijin Discord, we are hammering out our feedback. You know, about the KF50, we discussed it up and down, and the response that we get is that the Gaijin devs are aware of it, that they are aware of the problem, but they are not really solving it. They are not giving us the tools to counter this thing. There is no reduction in missile range, there is no increase in required spawn points for helicopters in general, and the KF50 in particular, to deny them spawning right at the start. And on top of this, Gaijin is also not giving the players the option to play another game mode, and not everybody is enjoying the repetitive and boring arcade game mode, where the income is then even less. So this is a complete fail in implementation, and an even bigger fail in the follow-up implementation. Gaijin is making it once more worse than better. They had, God knows, enough time to come up with anything, and we haven't seen anything yet. Nothing on the dev server, nothing in a dev blog, no statement whatsoever, except from they're working on it. But that means nothing if they don't come up with a solution. They have been warned in the past, they have been warned now, I have made my point clear, and there is just nothing that we can do. And can you blame the players? Can you blame people buying the KF50 for grinding civil lines, for grinding the helicopters, for just enjoying an overpowered thing? No, because this is an online game. If you really go for honor, you're wrong here. So it's literally Gaijin's job to make this work, and they have failed massively. Now we come to the Strf 90C. If you haven't seen my dev server vehicle preview, let me just quickly talk you through. Imagine a vehicle that is rather small in silhouette with a single 40mm and practically the performance of a 40mm Bofors, except that it has high explosive shells, as to be expected, that it has kind of a lot of ammunition, that it has a relatively high rate of fire, that it also has, in this case, proximity fused shells, but they are obviously not the size and the burst radius of 3-inch shells like from the automatic. But then add to it AP FSDS on a 40mm with up to 170mm of penetration, with that rate of fire, and practically enough ammunition to kill the enemy team multiple times over. With a stabilizer, decent mobility, and not the biggest target to hit. At battle rating, what was it, 9.0 or 9.3? I'm not quite sure. But please, Gaijin, don't introduce this. Have you not learned from the automatic, where even 12 AP FSDS rounds could do so much damage? A lot of people said, and I remember this clearly, the automatic will not be a problem once it gets introduced. Why? Because it's only 12 AP FSDS rounds, they have not the punching power of a main battle tank shell, but who does care about this if you can just simply shoot the lower glacis, if you can shoot the gun breach, if there is the turret ring, if you have the side shot and you kill the gunner and then the driver, or vice versa, and then you just have all the time in the world and you have additional APHE. But this thing can just keep firing for all eternities, and if this thing works around the capture zone, there is just no end. And one clip has what, 8 rounds, and the reload is practically non-existent, and you have what, 20, 30, 40 clips, and you can, as far as I'm aware up until this point, use all of it in terms of AP FSDS. Who cares then about aircraft? Because you kill the players before they can even get into aircraft. And once the community gets aware of this, this thing gets banned out. So what can Gaijin do? Well, same as with a lot of the SPA and some other vehicle types, they can limit a certain amount of ammunition. talk about a APDS round on, you know, 35mm gun systems for SPA, radar guided SPA, and also limit the amount of ATGMs on some main battle tanks. And you kind of see that there are possibilities to do so. The question is just if Gaijin is willing to do this for the health of the game. Now, let me get you back to a dev blog from 2016 when the BB238 was introduced, and Gaijin stated in a sentence that they reduced, or that they kind of limit the bomb load to 5 tons for gameplay's sake, for balancing reasons. And that is completely understandable. And still the thing was overpowered when it was introduced because of the wrong battle rating. Again, Gaijin is hard failing at implementing stuff, at testing the stuff, at making it balanced, at giving other nations a fighting chance. And those are only 2 vehicles that I just stumbled across. This is not me testing all the stuff. That is me not having time on the dev server for all of the thing. I came home quite tired after work, and I had to get up for the next day. And then I got the announcement, okay, dev server is up. Then I had to download 12 gigabytes and I had to look through all the additions myself, you know, just equipped with the experience from previous patches, and, you know, having played all the nations myself and having endured all the spam of overpowered vehicles. So this is a warning video for Gaijin to not introduce this stuff if they really stand by their standpoint that they are interested in the health of the game, because those 2 said vehicles, for obvious reasons that I mentioned and many more, they are not healthy for the game. They are to be avoided. There is variety, and then there is variety killing variety. And those things make so many other tanks, planes, helicopters completely irrelevant. They are once more there to break the back of the enjoyment of the players. And I'm not looking forward to this. There is so much stuff done right at the hands of Gaijin. There is so much stuff that they absolutely nail, which keeps us playing the game, at least me, for approaching 7 years. And yet, such a video must be made because they're just refusing to learn their lesson that they should learn. And you can vote here on this video. There is a dislike button and there is a like button. If you agree to those points, you know where to press. And again, you're happily invited to a sober discussion in the comment section down below, and I will forward the feedback to Gaijin, because there is enough time to just remove the things from the tech trees, to rework them, to balance them, because there is historical accuracy, and then there is how you implement it. And that's all that I have left to say. Thanks for watching, thanks for listening. I hope you agree with this and you hit the like button and you subscribe if you want to see more. And as usual, we will see each other on the waves, on the battlefields and in the skies of War Thunder.